Warning, do not attempt the extreme Easter chocolate openings you see in this video. Leave this sort of activity to the professionals.
Let's kick off and blow up something. Oh, look at that little bunny. Don't worry, little fella. This one's quite a bit.
Yeah, this little bunny thing, I bought it. It's one of those things that you wind up, and it's sort of classic of the sort of rubbish that you see around Easter time. And the thing never works. It's got jelly beans inside. It's meant to deploy jelly beans. Look at it. You see any jelly beans coming out of it? Well, there's nothing funny about this bunny. He sort of walked in and never pooped any beans for me. That bunny needs to go back to poop school. Well, the problem with that pooping bunny is it never pooped. There's nothing worse than Easter time constipation. I think that's fixed the problem. Don't worry, Talking Tom, it's only a burn on top of a burn. You got it in the stomach there, you'll be fine, believe me. And this walking, pooping bunny toy is sort of typical of the Easter rubbish that you find, but I want to move on to much grander things in this video. And while thinking of grander things, let's come in and do a double explosion of the Kinder Surprise Maxi eggs. Don't forget, we need the explosive Play-Doh. These Kinder Maxi eggs can be a little bit tricky to find. I better do the shop because you say, oh, you never showed it being unwrapped. I've seen them for as low as $13 and as high as actually 17 to be honest. And what I've found is after Easter they will dump down to about, I don't know, maybe $5 or $7. What I've noticed is one of these eggs is pre-broken inside its very rigid packaging. I also noticed it's been pushed up at the bottom here, so it must have had a bit of a fall at some point. And here's me opening the other one, and all people say, oh, but Leo, you put unwrapping in your tags and you never said the thing unwrapped. Well, the damn thing takes forever to unwrap, and that's why I don't like wasting time looking at it, and this egg looks a-okay. Okay, the explosive Play-Doh is in place. It's time to blow these puppies. It's time for a double Easter break, Talking Tom. Well, it goes to prove a double feature is always better value. Oh, the explosive joy, the explosive joy. Quite a blast. I don't think I've seen this toy before. And we go over to this one. That is the 10-pin bowling alley with 6 pins. And we've already seen that toy in a previous explosion video. I finally worked out how to put the protective housing on my GoPro, but a piece of chocolate had smeared the vision there. And it looks like Talking Tom has got a very serious burn down in that top part of his leg. And that would really sting. In fact, he's come off very second best in this blast. He's got a big burn on the back of him here. So I'm about to go back and see what happened. He's also got some shrapnel wounds just under his chin there. Talking Tom, are you okay?
I can't feel my leg.
Don't worry, Talking Tom, I'm here to fix you. I'll put some bandages on you and you'll be as right as rain. Well, I'll tidy this mess up and take a look at the Kinder toys. Well, for those worrying about Talking Tom's welfare, I have patched him up and I found these really cool Mickey Mouse Band-Aids. They're new on the market here in Australia. What caught my eye was the black packaging. Very cool indeed, and they actually have some really neat patterns. But I digress, we should look at the Kinder toys. This is one I showed in a previous explosion video. I don't want to really go into much detail about that now, because I'd like to show you the other toy that we have not seen, and this toy is excellent. There's instructions on building this Kinder toy, and on the flip side is like a little game synopsis on how to play, and this is a classic looking Kinder toy. On one end there's Bugs Bunny and a little leaf that seesaws like that, and up the other end is Daffy Duck, and he's also on a seesawing leaf. In the middle of the game are some monkeys climbing some coconut trees, and I think these are things to score the game. And in classic Kinder gameplay with Bugs to serve, and there's the return. Oh yeah, this is very addictive little fun. I think if you don't make it across, you lose a point. Although maybe you can tell me how it works, because I'm just making it up as I go. But I'm having fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a really fun game. It's so simple. I think the best games are always the simple ones. I have to admit, this is one of the favourite of the Maxi toys that I've come across so far. And for the Looney Tunes fans, the Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck look stunning. And while we're looking at Bugs, were you one of those people that liked Bugs Bunny when he was dressed in drag? Well, hell, Talking Tom's got his passion for destruction back. Do you remember I looked at Mr. Bump? It was made by Thornton's. I noticed there's this little chocolate bear called the Bare Necessities. Nice play on words there. And it's got that sort of packaging which I think is inducive for quite a chunky little blast. I find these unnecessary explosions unbearable. I can't bear to watch. Deary me, look at little bear's face. He's missing an eye and he's shattered. Oh yeah, and that chocolate there was down on the ground. It actually looks like very nice chocolate. And what is interesting here is I think this style of packaging is inducive to a really good effect. I think the packaging plays a lot in the way the chocolate breaks up. And just like on Mr. Bump, that bit of cardboard has come out. Oh yeah, I like it when they blow up like that. And what I like to look at, because I'm an explosive nerd, is this is the top of his little head. There's his little ear. And you can see in here that it started to crack. But explosives have this uncanny nature of taking the easiest way out. And in the fact that that's shaped like that at the top of his head, there'd be a bit of strength in that because of the nature of the shape there. Now if I just crack it here, you'll see that crack opening up. It just couldn't break that. But yeah, sometimes shape can aid in, well, strength. And obviously thickness can aid in strength as well. Well, Talking Tom, from this chaos there is always lots of things to learn. Well, that cat has spoken. Do you remember a few videos back when we had a bit of fun with that very nasty truck from that Kmart egg selection and the helicopter? Real nasty stuff. Well, I went to Kmart and I picked up some more what looked like very nasty toys. Well, here's the Kmart cattle dog. We call it cattle dog in Australia. There's Kmart symbol up there. Some people didn't believe me that rubbish was coming from Kmart. Well, I'll show you guys. There's the cars we're about to blow up. $5. Come down here. There's the robot man we're about to blow up. And there's that very nasty set right there. And they were $9. Well, who knows, what we're about to look at might be better than this rubbish we looked at before. Push that to the side. Let's get into this car set and let's get into this robot. Well, the first one I'm going to have a bit of a play with is the 3 eggs with 2 friction cars. Now, what's very interesting is the read under the box, which we'll look at next. Ooh, look at that Easter glory. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm having a read of the underneath this box, and what I'm looking for is to find out whether the eggs, the chocolate eggs, are made in Australia or China. I can't see anywhere which indicates to me that the eggs come from Australia. I take it the toy and the chocolate and the packaging is all from China. What I like to look out for are Easter goodies where the chocolate is actually made in Australia or anywhere but China. And first off, what I like to take a look at is one of these Chinese eggs. The first thing I'd say is that the foil wrapping on it is a little bit rough and ready. In fact, they've all been done a little bit rough and ready. Let's just take a look at what we got here. It's funny, probably most people don't care what they put in their mouth, but I don't know, I've just got this thing about foodstuffs from China. I try to steer clear of it. That's just my philosophy. Yeah, I dare say it would taste like chocolate from China, which we will not say any more about. And next, let's take a look at one of these cards. Okay, as an in-hand appraisal, I dare say the sticker work is fairly good for something made in China. It's got a very light and cheap feel to it. It certainly has a friction action on the back wheels. See how it goes on a bit of a flexing test. No, she's cheap and nasty, boys and girls. Look at that. I can basically just rip, look at that. I'm putting absolutely zero effort into this thing and it's falling apart. It's just cheap and nasty crap. I mean, the funny thing is there are actually screws. There's 3 screws on that base part that was meant to hold the base on to stop it from coming off, and it took very little effort at all to actually break this off. And the problem with this is it's just made with the weakest plastic known to man. Look at this. I'm putting absolutely no effort into this. Look at that. It is, well, it's like butter. I just cannot believe that this crap is in. Look at that. I'm putting so little effort into that and it just breaks. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, this is just really, that's really, really nasty stuff. And the thing there is, if a child got into this, and then the next thing is they're pulling this friction motor apart, and they're swallowing little gears and stuff. Look at this. Give me a break. You know, it's funny, I've gone back to look at the box, I dare say that there is the get out of jail clause. And what I'm going to do is, we'll put an explosive charge underneath this one here, and see how we can break it apart. Watch out, Talking Tom, this car's a bomb. Well, it's one of those ones sort of now you see it and now you don't. And it's very interesting to me. The explosives are telling us a material science story here. Just look at the way that car, the charges in the center there had Play-Doh around it. I use the Play-Doh to focus the charge. Look at the way that bottom piece is basically just, taken out where the blast was. It's sheared here and sheared at the back here. And a lot of that bottom plastic has broken up into little tiny fragments like that. That's telling me just how low quality that bottom piece was. The top piece is fared a little bit better. It's broken up into larger pieces, and the back of the car is here. The roof part's been blown off, but and just seeing the way this is broken up, that's really telling us more of a story than anything else here. If you think back to when I blew up this helicopter, it actually had 3 charges in it. That little car over there only had 1, but the helicopter didn't break apart into tiny fragments. It broke apart into its major components. That's telling me that that plastic is quite robust, and it took a fair bit of a blast 3 times over. This car is a totally different story. From seeing the way that's fragmented up, this is the real nasty, nasty stuff. This is the sort of stuff you just don't want to touch. From what I've seen going on here, it has me quite fearful for what I'm going to find in that big bad puppy. And before I come in and destroy this crazy robot with the Chinese eggs on top, remembering from Kmart Australia, that toy there is $9. Let's have this as a bit of an Easter thought. What do you think? That for $9? Well, the way I see it in Australia is if you head down to the reject shop, you could have picked up a beautiful die-cast Lightning McQueen, and there are other characters there for $4. $4 for that. In other shops they're $10. You can see them for $15 if you go to the wrong shops. And $4 for a beautiful lint Kinder Bunny. So between those two there, you're looking at $8. $8 versus $9 for what is essentially, well, you say it, I can't. And sure, the reject shop were doing those beautiful 100-gram lint bunnies for $4, but stop press. Target have come in and matched the price, $4, so it's an Easter Bunny showdown. Mind you, what I notice here is Target have the exclusive hazelnut lint bunny.
Oh, come on, let's fly this robot.
Well, that crazed cat, Talking Tom, is getting impatient. Let me get rid of those eggs and go straight in the bin. And let's get this robot out. Remember, guys, $9? Kmart Australia. Here it comes. Looks like a Power Ranger gone wrong. Well, hello, nasty robot. It feels cheap and nasty. This thing was loose in the packaging. I think that's something was meant to hold it into the packaging. It's got some sort of very cheap and nasty weaponry here. Out you come. I do notice on the back here there's one of those little tags that you pull out. So there must be battery in this and it makes a sound. I see a button in its armpit there. What's it going to do? It sounds just like the knockoff toys that I find in the markets. Funny that. Well, sure, it's got a gun, and maybe some people think this is a very impressive toy, but I can tell you that by just manipulating this thing and having a feel of it, it is very cheap and nasty. It is right up there for the lowest of the low. I don't know why this stuff is being sold in major retailers. It's the sort of thing that you would find at the dark markets where I find the knockoff toys. It's got a little battery warning. It's got one of those little batteries inside that sadly these days children choke on. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I don't want to say too much more. I'll let the audience have their say on what they think about this stuff. I know some people say, oh, Leo, it's the sort of stuff you see that's rife around Easter time, but I don't see why this stuff should be in major retailers. I really don't understand that. And even before I try and change this and blow it up or whatever, I'll prove my point here. This toy has not even been made right. Look at the leg here. Can you see that? Let's take a close look down here. Well, I haven't even started to try and pull this apart, and out of the box it wasn't even made right. I mean, look at that there. This top part of the leg here should be across a bit, and there would be little lugs that would fit into those holes. They couldn't even make it right in factory. And if I just give a little bit of manipulation, it's starting to come apart. I mean, how low can you go? It's just complete and utter rubbish. And I hope those at Kmart are watching this. If I open the leg up here, I'll just show you how poor this is. They've got it's sure it's been screwed together, but the screw is actually mangled where it should have gone in. So when they put the screw in, all it's done is it's butchered up the plastic. And maybe if we come in and take a look at the weaponry on this big bad puppy. Oh, it's nasty, nasty stuff. And maybe from looking at this we can have a new term in life. We've heard of the smoking gun, but how about the choking gun? Well, it's time to send this Easter intergalactic warrior to a better place. Maybe I'll put an explosive charge right in the cake hole. Well, I think the lesson there is you don't mess with a cat who's got bombs. Well, we better come in and do a bit of a look at what went on, because it'll teach us stuff about the materials that robot was made of. Talking Tom survived. His bombs were no match for that very nasty gun. The legs were left standing here, and I put blue tack under the legs. That's why they were left standing there. Looks sort of funny, doesn't it? And if you track across, all these bits here were down on the ground. And considering the way this toy has blown up into very small fragments and shards of plastic, it tells us something about the material it was made with. The brains of this intergalactic warrior were not in its head, it was down in its chest. There it is there. There's a speaker, there's the LED on the end of the wire, there's a little switch that turns it on and off. If I turn it over, that was the battery pack in there, and I can only find one of the button batteries. The other curious fact about that blast was I noticed this little gold skull cap down here, and that's from a Smurf toy up the back. And there he is there. Something must have come along and given him a hard whack. Well, I can assure you, after I've done these Easter blow-up videos, I'm going to have to come along and clean up all my toys, which are around my toy review area. There's all little bits of Play-Doh in there, there's bits of chocolate, there's bits of plastic. It's turning into a real mess. Okay, what's more dangerous? A really cheap and nasty Easter robot, or a Talking Tom with a loaded gun? Well, as some of you may know, I'm a bit of a fan of the M&M's merchandise, and they do have Easter stuff. Well, there is the beautiful green M&M, and she's got a basket of eggs here. She's got some beautiful bunny ears, and her fan spins if I push the button. Isn't she lovely? And I can show you what she looks like when she's in, well, what would you call it, seasonal mode. There she is as a normal green M&M. She's got a bit of a funny look to her, but I do like this M&M seasonal stuff. Here's a very cool blue guy. He's always got glasses on for some reason, and he also came out in a Christmas theme. Remembering I'm a collector of this, and you can have fan fights if you're really desperate for, action. And here's the red M&M. I'm a bit of a fan of him. It's great eye candy around the home. Oh, I can't help myself, can I? And what's sort of nice about these is you get a little bag of M&Ms. It's only 13.5 grams of like the bad stuff, but you get a great toy, and I sort of don't mind these for that reason. Well, Easter time tends to be the time of the bunny wars. I've got 3 chocolate bunnies here, but you know what? There's one bunny here I wouldn't touch. Well, let's take a look at these 3 bunnies, which sort of cost around the same money. The first one we're going to look at is the beautiful Ferrero Rocher bunny. It's the new bunny on the block in a sense. It's a very popular bunny from what I can see. It sells in the shops really well. It's 100 grams of chocolate, and it's got hazelnut in there. If you like those Ferrero Rocher chocolates, you're going to love this one. It's made in Italy, so I've got absolutely no problems with that. It's a beautiful bunny. The next one is the Lindt chocolate bunny. This is the, you might say the classic bunny. This is the one that everyone's chasing. This is hyper popular from what I can see. I've read the wiki page about this guy. He's very interesting. It's 100 grams of chocolate. It's between $4 to $5 in Australia. I notice the prices come down in some shops now. The Reject shop, I think, has forced that. The cheapest I saw them first off was the Reject shop at $4. This one's made in Germany. I've got no problems with chocolate coming out of Germany at all. I love any chocolate coming out of Europe. But the bunny up the back there is a totally different animal. But let's move aside these very high quality chocolate bunnies, and let's bring forward this one here, which is a bit of a different beast. This is a Kmart $5 chocolate bunny. It's 160 grams. The problem I've got with this is it's made in China. There's no way I'm going to buy that versus that or that. That's just me speaking personally. I don't know what you feel about chocolate from China. Well, what I'm planning on doing is blasting that Kmart bunny to smithereens, but I'd like to unwrap this beautiful Ferrero Rocher bunny to see how it looks. Well, these bunnies come with a little ID tag around their neck. It sort of tells you about the chocolate, bit of nutritional information there, and I'm going to try and start and unwrap it underneath here. With gloves on, it's very difficult. Could turn into an epic fail. I'm really having to dig into this. Oh. think I'm just mashing the chocolate at the bottom there. I've got to start here. Got to start at home. Oh, come on. Up this way. Oh, yeah. Oh, the smell. Oh, the smell is beautiful. And it looks great. With those nuts there. If you like those Ferrero Rocher doodahs, I mean, oh, look, he's a fantastic looking bunny. He looks beautiful. Look at his little face. Look at that. He's carrying an egg, as bunnies do at Easter time. But I tell you what, that's a stunning looking bunny. And boy, it smells great. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this is into temptation for me because this bunny smells beautiful. It looks beautiful. But what I'll do is I'll take him inside and I'm pretty sure my family will enjoy nibbling into him. As to this bunny here, a totally different fate awaits him. And I think a nice little charge right in his bunny tail is going to sort him out. Well, being a Chinese bunny, I'm sure you're used to fireworks. I dare say that's that bunny's version of breakdancing. Don't worry, Talking Tom, it was just a Chinese bunny that blew up next to you. You'll be fine. I'll knock some sense into you and I'll sit you up over there, okay? You be quiet, okay? Quiet. What was interesting about that blast is all this chocolate here was down on the ground and projected forward from the bunny blast. There's his cute little face, how sad. And it's interesting, the mould had some fairly thick pieces in there. Some of the mould is, cast fairly thick. This is what, is that his foot? It's a great big lump of chocolate. But the most interesting aspect to it was the fact that his little case that he was in, this quite strong plastic case, we'll call it a coffin now, that took a fair bit of blast to blow that apart. It was actually quite a muffled blast because of the packaging. It's always interesting. Each blast you learn a bit about the chocolate. I'll just bring more pieces of chocolate over here. There's another really thick piece. You learn about the packaging and the way it reacts. But yeah, that bunny is busted. Well, what is interesting in the cleanup, look what I found up here amongst the toys. There's the bunny's ears, the top of his ears, the side of his head, sitting on top of this Happy Meal Big Mac. And what's quite amazing about this piece here, it is a great big heavy piece of this moulded chocolate. It's like when the moulds, it would have been left on that edge there, and a lot of the chocolate has run to this side, and it's really thick. If I break it here, you can see how thick it is. And remember, I always said that the explosives find the weakest link. Well, that's one of the hardest things to blow in that bunny. That's why it's been left in one piece. Oh, Easter time is the time of buy beware. All these products are roughly the same price. Let's take a look at each one of these. This planes packet here, candy gift set. I looked at this in a previous video. I love this set. There are two little hanger planes in there. There's a surprise egg with a great little surprise inside as well. A real detailed little plane. That was $5. I think that's fantastic. Here's a Peppa Pig, what is it, 45 gram egg. All it is a chocolate egg in there. $4.95. Crikey's, Peppa Pig, you're expensive, aren't you? Thomas the Tank is suffering the same fate. It's 45 grams chocolate egg, $4.95. Chugga chugga. This Kinder Surprise Bunny, which are between $4.50 to $5 in Australia, it's got a little surprise in there. It's 75 grams of chocolate. Actually, I think they're good. I like the Kinder bunnies like this. I think they're fantastic. And the Lindt bunny, which we all know and love, and I love, that guy there is between $4 and $5. You get Little Bell, I suppose, but you get the best chocolate ever. So there you go. Which one of these do you think presents the best value? Which one of these do you think's a bit of a rip-off? I'd love you to tell me. Well, before I make a fool of myself, let's just make sure that all we're getting in here is a 45 gram egg. I don't know, $5 or 5 cents off $5. What do you think? Well, there's an egg in there. Let's take a look at this. Crikeys, that's a fair bit of box bloat, isn't it? Oh dear, oh dear. Maybe Peppa Pig has a box bloat to protect this precious egg. I'm just seeing if there are any special deals in the packaging. What is there? I suppose it's telling me it's nut safe, so whatever that means with this type of chocolate. And there's a bit of a game. Oh, I can't see the value yet. Who knows, there might be a pleasant surprise inside this egg. Let's take a look at the egg. It might be beautiful. Ooh, look at that. Nice pattern on it. This is made in the UK. I've got no problem with chocolate from the UK. I trust UK chocolate. Looks nice. Let's crack it open. What's inside? Air. Let's take a look at the Thomas & Friends one. One can only assume we're dealing with a bit of licensing costs and all this. We're getting, some nice packaging, some nice pictures. What's this one? A bit of a puzzle you cut out. Big deal. Let's see if there's any surprises in here apart from a whole bunch of air. No, it looks the same as the Peppa Pig. Oh dear, oh dear, there's nothing inside that egg, nothing but air. Well, I've still got one of these beautiful Thomas and Friends chocolate eggs in box. You know, I'm feeling a bit bored. Let's blow this puppy. Watch out, Thomas! Talking Tom's put dynamite in your boiler. There's a boiler flash you'll never forget. Every time you blow up a chocolate egg, you learn something. Well, I hope you learn something. If you don't learn anything, well, there's no point in blowing them up, is there, Talking Tom? Talking Tom's been burnt again. It's like a burn on top of a burn here. I'm going to have to put some more band-aids on him. Poor chap, he's looking very tired these days. And what was interesting is the back of the actual box blew out. It broke along one of the glue seams there, which I'm not surprised at because that's like the weakest link, isn't it? The egg has been annihilated and it sort of blew back in that direction. The bit you guys never see is all the cleaning up I've got to do after these videos, and the chocolate gets forced right behind everything on the table. Well, at least after blowing it up, I feel like I've had my $5 of fun. And what I really should show is that yes, I am looking after Talking Tom. He does get burnt as we do these egg explosions. I'd hate for people to think that I'm neglecting him and letting him suffer. There's nothing worse than seeing animals suffer, but he's getting fixed up as he's getting burnt. Well, this next one's a curious one. I think I found this in Target. I hope I'm right there. It's from a company called Colette. It's saying to me, finest German chocolate, which is fine by me. Die-cast vehicle set, so I've got some vehicles in there. I've got some eggs, and it looks pretty good. On the back of the box is a picture of the toys. There's a bit of a breakdown what's inside the box, and it's saying down here, milk chocolate made in Germany, toys made in China. Oh, I love that picture there. Ethan the bunny driving a big truck of eggs. Let's get these bad boys out and let's take a look at what we've got. Here they come. Oh, yeah. Well, on first impressions, this isn't looking too bad. Remembering I paid $15. There's some little plastic signs here. I dare say the eggs would be nice. Some nice little vehicles, and this great big truck here at the bottom, which I need to unscrew from the box. It's got some stuff here where you get a screwdriver and you take the screws out. Maybe it gives me an opportunity to do one of those shots that I'm famous for on my channel, the unscrewing shot. Well, there's a set of signs, and there's say you find those in a lot of generic little toys. You know, some children love things like that. The truck's actually fairly impressive. I've loaded with the eggs. I like the things on the back of the truck. They look like something you could have on a railway. The truck's quite nice. It's a mixture of die-cast and plastic. And these little trucks are okay as well. Once again, it's a mixture of die-cast and plastic. I mean, it's not your top-end stuff, but it's certainly not bottom of the barrel. I mean, in this combination, I've just let out the truck and I can drive it around. Boom, 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 boom. I take a look at this ploughing type machine. You know, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart in my hands. I can give it a good twist and bend. I can't, you know, obviously get the wheels to fall out easily. It's of a higher quality of that stuff that we saw before from Kmart. You know, I've got no qualms or problems with this sort of toy. It's just your lower end toy, but for what you're paying for, it's actually not too bad. Here's a look at the crane. I mean, maybe people see these styles of wheels and say, oh yeah, it's those generic toys that are in like everywhere else. You know, it does that. Holds up, it articulates around. It's got a little hook on it. Certainly not falling apart in my hands. I can twist it around a bit. I can't rip bits off this one. Passes my finger test. And here's a little track digger, and it's got, you know, obviously wheels underneath here. It's got, I used to love watching these operate when I was young. I used to just stand at the construction sites watching these guys go all the time. It's not bad. My boy would love this. I can tell you that now. Power. Power to the people. And here's the dump truck, and it's interesting, the eggs from this set are actually, they got nice foil. It's multicolored foil. Maybe that's the German touch. I'm hoping it's, you know, German. I mean, when you see that the thing's assembled in China, they could put anything in the box, couldn't they? Shouldn't say things like that. The funny thing is I can't get that to tilt up. It seems to be a lockdown tilt truck. Well, it's not a tilt truck, it's just a bin on the back of a truck. Anyway, it's far superior than the others. If I bring the big truck in, let's take a look at this bad puppy. Well, here's the prime mover. You know, it's nice. It's not your high-end stuff. It's not your super low-end stuff. It's just your budget stuff, but it's not falling apart in my hands. I can give it some really good twists and try and break things off, and I can't get things to come off. And that's what toys have got to be like. I mean, we saw the really nasty stuff earlier in this video, and in another video I did, but this is fine, and I'm pretty sure it's from Target. Here's the trailer. This is the part that I actually like. I just know that to me says, like, you know, it's something from a train wagon. This trailer's all plastic. It's a bit bendy and flexy, but it's not, obviously not breaking, okay? The axles are nice and sturdy in there. You know, this is the sort of toy which is fine in my books. It's a cheaper toy, but at least it's not just falling apart in my hands like I saw the other stuff do. To couple and uncouple the trailer from the prime mover, it's just a matter of getting the right angle of the dangle there, and it's connected. Watch out, boys and girls, Easter Bunny's driving the big rig loaded with chocolate eggs. Oh yeah. And maybe be quite prudent for me to make this point right now. Remember back in that previous explosion video, Easter egg blah blah, where I showed this truck and it's just cheap and nasty. It was bought from Kmart, and I just said that sort of stuff should not be on the shelves in major retailers, and all little bits and pieces broke off it. Think about that truck versus this truck here. They are two totally different animals. I've got no qualms of this sort of toy, you know, being sold at, you know, these seasonal times of years. Sure, it's not the highest of quality, but it's not falling apart in my hands, whereas that truck there was an absolute and utter disgrace. I know some people didn't like what I was saying when I brought up this issue of really low quality toys being sold by major retailers, but hey, someone's got to make a stand on it, and I'm prepared to. Hey guys, look, Talking Tom's got a little Easter chick in his lap. How beautiful. You know, Easter time brings up some beautiful imagery. Don't count your chickens until they've hatched. Well, that chicken has had an Easter surprise, and they're those ones that you wind up and they're meant to go like, and it's got a spring inside it like that, which is all wound up. But so often you buy those cheap and nasty Easter novelties and they just last a few days. And their lifespan is very short if you feed them gunpowder for feed. What's interesting in that last blast, Talking Tom has ingested a bit of chicken fluff there, but he's taken a big wound. A really big one down here, and it looks like he's actually been fatally wounded. He's not working anymore, I can't... Oh, he's just come to life. Are you okay, Talking Tom? Can you talk to me? He's okay. There's... looked like a wire was actually cut down here. Maybe the... Oh, now he's back and actually quiet. I actually preferred you when you were half dead. I thought something had been cut down there, but obviously he's back up and running again. He's such an annoying cat, but I love him. Maybe we better finish this video off here. It's probably far too long for YouTube to accept, but I hope you enjoyed seeing this, and I hope we learned something along the way. Got into a bit of consumer affairs and material science. And at the best of times, they can be very, very dry subjects to have in videos. And I should explain to you, I've got another Easter dilemma here. I've actually got enough product here to pull off another video. I've actually got some of those large Kinder Maxi eggs that you have not seen yet, but I'm running out of time. There's some great products here that I really wanted to get into. You know, I wanted to see this. I wanted to show you my Lint Bunny from last year, the Angry Birds eggs, and a whole lot of other Kinder stuff you haven't seen, that Skylanders thing. Those mugs, I don't know guys if I'm going to have the time. It takes me a couple of days to make these videos, and I'm really sorry if I can't get this together. Another small problem I've got is a fan prize that has never been picked up. This is now going to be third time lucky. I've tried twice. The first person got back to me and said they couldn't have it because of the legalities of it being in the USA. There's a whole bunch of surprise eggs in there. There's all sorts of beautiful chocolates and stuff. The second person, you know, I'm trying to think. Well, the top fan is someone who comes along to my channel and watches my videos, the long and the short and whatever. I try and do my best to try and, you know, make sure these people see that they've been rewarded. But if they're not coming along and realizing that they've been rewarded, well, I really, you know, thinking, well, I've got to give it to someone who is a more frequent viewer of my stuff. That's the way I see it, guys. I see lots of people laying comments and stuff, but what I notice is they don't notice things up the end of the videos. I just hope they're not spamming stuff onto my channel. If they are, I really don't want you around. Tell me, what should I do with this? Should I pick up someone else in a video and, you know, give it to someone who is really worthy of this? I mean, there's a few people that I've already awarded prizes to which I know keep coming back and they would love to have that sent to them. You know, it's one of those little dilemmas. Maybe the top fan prize thing is becoming a little bit of a nightmare. I'd love you to tell me what I should do with that box of stuff. Well, that second person, I'm sorry, but time's up. Let's find someone else who's worthy to put on that piece of paper. And put it this way, people who are spammers and just, laying comments for the sake of laying in a comment would never come up to the end of the video and hear what I'm saying here, so it's all sort of pointless, isn't it? I was starting to sound like an angry red bird there. Well, I better say goodbye. Thank you for watching this video. Look at this lovely lint bunny, and bye for now. Come on little fella. Do some pooping. No. Come on. Do something. Oh, it just had a runner. In the middle of the game there's some monkeys climbing. And in classic Kinder gameplay, this is how it plays. I'll get my act together. The same way, it's actually, I think, this style of packaging. Well, the first one I'm going to unbox is this friction egg. Oh, it's not a friction egg, it's a friction car. So first off, what I'm going to look at is one of these. If I can get the damn thing out, which I can't. And if I take a look at the big gun on that bad puppy, and because I'm a collector, I can actually bring in her when she's not in a theme mode. There she is as a normal self, without any sort of decorations. Don't worry, Talking Tom, it was just a bunny blast. You'll be okay, I can assure you. I'll tell you what, Talking Tom's gone mad. That chocolate there was down on the ground, and what's interesting about this bunny is that it's actually got some fairly thick... Why me? Quiet! Shh! One more word out of you and you're out of here. Right, you're gone.